I want to share a $200 billion idea. But my story starts with a lot fewer zeros. Last year, I sent 6,000 euros from my bank account here in Barcelona to an account in Chicago, and Bank Inter charged me over 400 euros in commissions. And Citibank charged me $15 to accept a deposit into their bank. That level of cost strikes me as completely unreasonable. Right now, I could send money from my smartphone to your smartphone in about a minute with no cost at all. So why should there be such a big difference in cost between these two scenarios? There actually isn't much difference in cost. There's just a big difference in the price charged by different intermediaries. I also recently discovered that immigrants paid over $45 billion last year to banks in Western Union in order to send $600 billion back to their family members. This means that 250 million of the poorest people in the world are losing 6 to 10% of the value that they send back to people that they know and they trust. I'm an immigrant in Spain, and I can afford to pay 7% once in a while. But this high level of cost is extremely painful to individuals and small businesses because it adds friction in our global economy. In fact, friction and cost is the main reason why over 2 billion adults in the world still don't have bank accounts. You may say, well, I don't make very many wire transfers, so this doesn't affect me. But it does. Over $200 billion are extracted from our global economy each year by banks through unnecessarily high wire transfer fees. To put this in perspective, there are only about 45 countries in the world that have a higher gross domestic product than the amount banks are charging for wire transfer fees. But why do banks seem to have a monopoly on moving money around? There are three main reasons. The first is simply that we've worked with banks for centuries to guard our money. We trust the internet when we use Skype to make free phone calls, and we trust the internet to send free email. But trusting the internet with our money requires some additional considerations. There are also many things on the internet that you cannot trust. But as a layer of transporting bytes around the world, the internet is actually pretty amazing. And building applications on top of the internet has unleashed a massive wave of innovation that's changing industries all around us, because old rules about asset ownership are being attacked by new business models related to sharing. And I foresee the most spectacular new sharing app will enable digital money for everyone. So what is money? Money is something that represents a unit of account. It's a store of value, and it's broadly accepted and trusted by people as a medium of exchange. Digital money is actually quite similar. Imagine digital money as money that you can't see. But the truth is, we haven't seen most of our money for decades. Your salary is deposited automatically into your bank account. Some of it disappears to pay the mortgage. Other money disappears to settle credit card obligations. You may only touch a few $100s or a few €100 each month. So let's take a look at a few examples of money. Bitcoin is digital money, but its volatility in price causes some concern. One Bitcoin today is worth about $420. But 6 months ago, Bitcoin was only worth $210. And a little over a year ago, one Bitcoin cost over $880. So while Bitcoin can be trusted, it's not broadly accepted because of the wide fluctuations in its price. However, underlying Bitcoin is the blockchain technology. The purpose of today's talk is not to go into any particular detail about Bitcoin or blockchain, but let me just say that the blockchain distributed ledger eliminates the need for a trusted third party like a bank because it is certain about the ownership of an asset. And any currency can be acquired or spent at any time by any internet-connected device. There's another example in Kenya called M-Pesa. You may have heard of it because it's been wildly successful. And last year, M-Pesa carried over 40% of Kenya's gross domestic product. Users of the M-Pesa network do need to trust Safaricom, the company operating M-Pesa, just like they would trust a bank. And they need to pay whatever fees Safaricom wants to charge. But in general, it's been working quite well, unless you want to transfer money to someone who's not on the M-Pesa network. Should we trust Google or Apple? Well, Apple has never been bashful about charging the highest price the market will bear. And Google probably knows more about you than your mother. In fact, Google uses all the data they have about us, and were able to generate over $15 billion in profit last year from services they offer mostly for free. So it makes you wonder about the value of our data. And Visa is the company that until July 2015 was unabashedly charging 10 times the current regulated price in order for Europeans to make credit card charges. And Visa's not going to be in a very big hurry to cannibalize their existing business. Besides, none of these big players are going to accept another big player's solution. So where can we find a blueprint for a digital money standard that encourages wide adoption? International standards are extremely important because they promote safety and interoperability. So as I've been pondering different alternatives for the money highway solution, I recognized that loyalty points are a type of currency. They're in extremely wide use worldwide, and most people belong to a dozen or more different loyalty programs. In fact, there's more value of loyalty point currency in circulation than US dollars. So given the pervasiveness of loyalty coins, maybe we could embrace loyalty coins as a de facto standard for digital money, and then use the blockchain for trust, the internet for connectivity, and loyalty points as a global common currency. You all probably belong to a dozen or more loyalty programs. You may be active in one or two of those programs, but for the most part, loyalty programs don't stimulate loyalty because your earnings is fragmented across too many accounts. And merchants aren't benefiting very much from their loyalty programs either, because customers show too much apathy. The main reason why merchants offer a loyalty program in the first place is not necessarily to earn your loyalty. It's so they can capture data about you in order to tie all their transaction information with information about the individual in order to understand shopping behaviors. Unfortunately, if customers don't sign up for the loyalty program, or they're too apathetic to show their loyalty card, then the merchant doesn't capture the data to better understand your desires and present you with meaningful offers. Repsol, for example, recently gave me 8 cents worth of travel club points after I put 46 euros worth of gas in my car. I would have to fill up my car 575 times in order to earn the equivalent value of a full tank of gas. So that makes me apathetic. The fact of the matter is that loyalty programs as we know them today have reached the limits of their utility for both the consumer and for the merchants. And they need to be reimagined around a common loyalty currency in order to dramatically extend their value and possibly increase participation among consumers by 2 or 3 times more. Many people might think that merchants aren't going to give up their proprietary loyalty programs because they think those programs allow them to differentiate their service in the marketplace. But the fact of the matter is that coalition loyalty programs actually do drive consumer behavior changes. And there's plenty of data now to demonstrate that a coalition loyalty program where many merchants issue the same point currency, such as Nectar in the UK or Air Miles in Canada, actually attract more customers into the store, increase the frequency of store visits, and typically lead to an increased ticket size at the checkout counter. The problem with loyalty or coalition loyalty programs is typically their high operating cost because many of the legacy programs are run by intermediaries that also have high transaction costs. But they are more effective, and I believe those costs could be greatly reduced. So if we take coalition loyalty programs to the extreme, and we introduce a loyalty coin, which behaves like digital money, then many consumers could collect a lot more value in a single trusted account and totally control how that money was spent. And merchants would get much better data about a much larger population of their customers and be able to put that to use to improve their business. This little trick of converting the loyalty point into a digital currency actually solves a large number of problems for everyone involved. If we demonstrate that a large population of consumers are interested in a common loyalty account, then many merchants would join the program because it allows them to win your business. If customers join the common loyalty program, the service itself might allow you to help protect your privacy. You could control how data about you is used, including not letting it be used at all. I'm not suggesting that this idea will create loyalty between you and any particular merchant, but it does create an environment in which a merchant can engage with you in a much more authentic way and provide you a much more compelling service and deliver an experience that can build loyalty. And for merchants, offering a common loyalty coin is actually a gift that keeps on giving because it attracts more customers into their store, and it provides them a marketing channel where they can deliver personalized services to individual smartphones, which attract people back to the store again and again. And for people who had loyalty coins and wanted to spend them, they could go to merchants that were happy to accept the loyalty coin because the merchant could turn around and reissue the loyalty coin to other customers, or the merchant could convert those loyalty coins into the local currency without high transaction costs. Once the money highway enables all of us to collect loyalty coins and spend them how we wish, the same platform can be used by immigrants and the unbanked to achieve their own money transfer objectives. People living in developing countries would not have to be worried about getting robbed outside the local Western Union office when they collected their cash, because the cash would be on their phone and only spendable with a password. International payments and loyalty programs are two massively important and growing segments of our global economy. And they need to be reimagined around a common currency so that they can become much more relevant for everyone involved. By combining the best elements of each with some amazing new technology, I'm convinced that we can create a new loyalty coin that becomes the most widely used digital currency in the world. Imagine the $45 billion currently being taken as commissions on international remittances arriving to developing countries, and the impact that that would have on local infrastructure and people's standard of living. This talk is not about me. I don't care if the titans of the banking, telecom, or technology industries spend billions of dollars over the next 5 years battling it out in the marketplace over their proprietary solutions. This talk is about not allowing humanity to repeat mistakes where divergent standards constrained efficiency and growth. And it's about how entrepreneurs, immigrants, and small businesses take control over transferring and controlling their money. I'm convinced that a common loyalty coin service can be extremely meaningful to a massive audience on a global basis, because everyone can acquire the new digital currency, transfer it, or spend it however they want, without having to worry about significant fluctuations in price. And I'm also convinced that if this takes place, then we can help the merchants be much more effective and much more meaningful to their target customers. The money highway is possible today, but to get the ball rolling, we need to convince merchants to join the Common Currency Coalition in exchange for much better data to run their business. And when that happens, I'll be able to send 6,000 euros anywhere in the world with no cost at all. And everybody else will be able to complete their financial transactions without intermediaries taking a big cut. And that can change the world. Thank you.